Alright boys and girls, and welcome back to another building video. This time I'm finally bringing a nice solo house. Of course you could do a duo on this one. We are doing the small team as it's been neglected for a little while now, and of course we're coming in with an absolute heater. I've teamed up with Mr. S4 on this build just to make sure everything is looking nice and smooth. The man himself has given it his own personal touch, combining our skill sets to create a masterful base that you guys are really going to enjoy. This one ticks all the boxes for a solo in a massive long wipe, but there's absolutely room for even 2 or 3 players inside this build, and it's going to give you guys an enjoyable time. Now I do have a cool little announcement as well I'd like to show you. Now, I've been teasing a bit of a stream arc for some time now, and of course that is now finally here. So if you do like to watch a bit of Rust on Twitch, then definitely come check it out. And of course the camera is going to be on. It's blurred right now, but if you do want the big face reveal, come check it out. I'm going to have everything linked in the top comment, Twitch, and then of course the kick event as well. It's going to be happening tomorrow, so check all of that out. All right, let's get in now with the tour. Been a little while since I've done a solo duo sized base, so I wanted to make sure we were coming at it with a banger. So this one's going to get you ticked off for online raids, offline raids, and those kind of longer wipes where you're looking for maximum storage and a nice bit of aggression as well to make life a bit easier on those smaller group number wipes. So it's a 2-side symmetrical base for the most part with 2 external TCs, and these externals are optional, so you can actually just connect down here with a frame. If you don't want externals, you don't need them. Opening up our external is going to reveal our TC, and of course it's disconnectable as well. So if we break the twig inside here, it's going to pop the connection on the outside. In this twig here, breaks the connection like so. And if we want to replace it on the inside, we can throw down a twig, half wall, and then join everything else up just like so. And we got 2 of those, one on either side of the household, and then 2 gatehouses on the opposite ends. The gatehouses are of course maximum visibility, so nobody is allowed to door camp you. Yo, boys and girls, the Patreon is going crazy. To everyone who's already checked it out, that's a massive thank you to you. I really do appreciate it. And anyone who hasn't had a look yet, we are up to 27 private bases, some of those being actual bases that I use inside of my snowballs and wipes if you've caught those. Constantly updating this with brand new base designs. And of course inside the Discord it gives access to new roles, faster response times, guidance and help with your own questions and anything else. And of course it supports the channel directly, and it means a massive amount to me too. And hopefully you guys get some value out of it as well. I appreciate you guys for listening though. Drop this vid a little like if you can, and let's get back on in with the tour. We do get a nice double single door airlock here to play off of, not to mention the windows and the DLC doors to give you that maximum view. On the way in we get a nice little Patrico angle here looking towards the compound, and of course if you want to crouch on this you can throw down a box or a bed in here, but we do have dedicated bedrooms in the compound too. Opening up the door instantly reveals the turrets, which is pretty nice. 2 turrets above the beds and 2 turrets above the gatehouses. Of course we can come up here if we want to ping wall, nice and easy. And then if you have some taller raid bases, then you can ping wall from down below as well. And the point of these walls is pretty much just to soak up rockets. So if you're in the kind of raid where they have rockets to spare, they're kind of playing distance and they're just farming your base, hitting lots of holes in there, then you can start ping walling up and try and eat some rockets, and then eventually hopefully they'll key in when the boom gets low and you can actually have some fun. Behind our ping walls of course are a large furnace, and your best bet is to just industrial through the gap. These are our gatehouses and these are our bedrooms. Bedrooms are pretty standard. We get a single door here with a locker, and there's a furnace in there for style points. You can swap this out with 2 barrels, or if you like the lockers you can rock them too. And these are our angles throughout the compound. We get 2 entrances into the base, one on this side and one on the opposite end. One of them is purely a mobility chute, and that's going to meet up in shooting floor, and the other one is going to take us into our main core. Let's see which one we get right now. Okay, so this is the mobility chute side. It takes us up, giving 1 ways into our main loot, a little bedroom respawn halfway up, and then finally we meet on shooting floor level, and this is our main chute into our actual main core. So we get a nice stair bunker here on our kind of chase box starter. However, it's not as deepable as the normal starter. It's kind of just that staircase setup. I think you guys will like this a lot. Really budget friendly and gives us quite a strong base to play off here. So you got your bunker here. Of course you could high call all of this up as well if you want to make it even stronger. From down inside, this is how you break this stair bunker. Of course you need to be on console to rep a stair bunker. If you're on console and you're like, oh, I can't have stair bunker, the base is still worth building even without the bunker, but we would just break this twig in here and that would open up the bunker from above. But yeah, if you're on console, it's still worthwhile, don't worry. You get an airlock almost as strong as a bunker, and then we kind of do maximum storage here, which is pretty nice. You do get 2 beds in core as well for the boys. Little barrel down here, Stair bunker connects over on this section, and it's just a simple placement like this. And you are sealed up for the night. Lots of storage here, barrels throughout the staircases, up on the shelf, and then we tuck our TC over here as well. And of course that is 2 walls from outside too, which is very nice. This is kind of our main core loot room, and it will give you a lot of boxes to expand from, and a nice bit of defendability too. We can continue to jump up now, opening up the G door, and that's going to take us into another loot floor, where we get a nice turret watching really well actually on the jump up and drop down, and we get some more boxes here to play off of with even more bed respawns, which is great. And of course that's the retake over here that I showed before, coming up from our mobility chute side, with a bedroom over here too, allowing us to respawn and retake this area if we need to. So more storage here, and then we can jump up to our shooting floor level, and we get a one-way retake into shooting floor. So if anyone's around there, you're gonna be able to ankle bite them completely for free, and you can HV and nade through this as well. It's just a little bit more risky. Then we can airlock through into our shooting floor, and it's a good collection of downward angles and petricos, so we get some good downwards over towards our gatehouse side. Looking down and through, anyone running around in here, you're gonna have a good time spraying down on them. And then on the corner sides, we do get petricos watching towards our external TCs and looking around behind the furnace, behind the ping wall, and that's on all 4 sides of the base to give you that nice coverage. And the roof is still covered in angles too as well, so keep that in mind. We do get a lot of online defense capabilities here. And of course, more beds can go up here, or I'm doing a bit of industrial stuff up here as well. That works too. And then we have 2 jump ups to our roof and a couple of retakes as we go along as well. We can retake our roof from here, and then if anyone's a little bit higher up, we can also look from here too. We get some more downward angles on the opposite ends that weren't quite as covered. And again, if you change out the Crypt skin, you'll get a bit more visibility, or Crypt looks to be tightening up a lot of angles, which could be useful. Maybe worth a purchase, this one. We're going to find some nice tight angles to rep with that skin. We can back up on these and get a little bit more distance on them, and they are some solid angles that are of course fall protected too. We airlock out onto our roof, where we have 2 turrets that are hard to break with minicopters, and then 2 turrets that kind of just generally cover the space that will be taken out by attack heli quite quickly. They're going to get the job done. It's good to have a combination of them both. Shop front for a bit of visibility here so we can see what's going on, and this is also where our reverse waterfalls are going to meet up to the roof. Dropping down here is going to take us down nice and fast, and of course it works both ways, so you can come up and through as you need. Compound to roof in seconds, which is very nice. And the roof is a collection of tight petrico angles. Some good visibility windows, of course, here as well. We could expect to see people kind of waiting here as they ladder up, so you can quickly hop up on them, kind of like the spink box, a little bit of a freebie. And some more petricos down the center too, which is nice. If you get to the point of a minicopter, I would just throw some twig down the center here. Nobody can shoot it out from anywhere far away, so just throw twig here and land the mini in the middle. And this is what I mean with the Crypt building skin. You can see that that is so much tighter than any of the other ones. So really could be a worthwhile investment here to tighten up those petricos. And that pretty much wraps up our base design. Hopefully boys and girls are impressed with this one. Next I'm going to go ahead and break down the total build cost. First of all, on screen is the total build cost. Second up is that build cost in box amounts. And lastly is the total upkeep spread between 3 TCs. And the main TCs, of course, holding the majority of that upkeep. Hopefully you guys are impressed with this one. Now I'm going to go ahead and break down how to build it. Alright, so we'll go ahead and kick off the build with a 2x1 footprint. Keeping in mind that we have 2 triangles that we use for our TC and for our stair bunker setup. So TC is going to go in here on the left side, and that's your bare minimum you need to seal the base. Over on this side is the stair bunker, and you're better off giving yourself a double half wall to make placing this triangle easier when you're doing the bunker. And that's just windowed off, the door in front, nice and easy. You can get a twig floor in there. Then we wrap up and over with a staircase to kind of give us that kind of trace box starter. And then up and over the top with a shelf. And it all seals in nice. And you want to have this double door swinging out the way for an airlock in a minute. Next we can build up over the top of this. So we once again use this triangle, add furnaces, and then we are going to wrap through, creating a single double door airlock just like this, and double door wrapping through to our eventually mobility chute and way up to the base. If we want to bring out a little front door here, we can wrap through like this, honeycombing the 2x1 all the way around and adding our way in just like so. So we're wrapping up and through, hitting the jump up there, jumping off of this section just like so, and then we can honeycomb the front here, and that's how you wrap down up and over the top just like so. We'll go ahead and make this symmetrical so that everything's on this side. So we can bring the footprint out, 1, 2, 3, honeycomb the bottom. And then we window, double door, staircase for our front door. Up and over the top. Creating the jump up on that outer triangle. And then with this spare triangle here, we're going to create a nice little one-way looking into the next floor. And the embrasure goes in just like this, and we can look in and through. We'll go ahead and bring this up one more height level just so that we can seal everything up. So once again, we're adding this in, and you can seal that with a double door so no one can go deep from the top. And we'll do the same up here, sealing it with a double door, and that'll give us a little bit of height here to play off of. Next, we want to go ahead and honeycomb the rest of the 2x1. So we'll bring up this section and honeycomb just like so on both sides. And that's how we need to be looking so far. Next up, we're going to be looking to rush the compound, and we'll get our externals down now as well. Keeping in mind that the externals are optional, so you don't actually need to do them if you don't want to. I'll go ahead and throw in two-sided sim, and we'll start getting some externals coming off of the front door path. So we wrap around here, just like so, creating a bit of a hexagon footprint. You can see it's going to go on both sides because of the two-side symmetry. From here, we can go ahead and build out towards our bedroom, capping it with a triangle, and that's where our kind of locker goes. And if you don't want an external, simply just connect it up and you're good to go. However, for those of you who would like an external, if we come off the side here, wrapping into a hexagon, then out with a square, and into our external just like so. And then everything would join up just like this, blowing a frame off the side, breaking the foundations in between, creating a twig half wall here with a full half wall on top, and then your TC tucks in the back behind a window, and the rest of the external just goes in nice and easy. You can throw your TC in there, and you can join everything up just like that, connecting only there, keeping the stability nice and low. And we test the disconnect, everything's working, beautiful, done. Two externals on the house, and of course those are optional. Now onto the two honeycomb sides so that we can go ahead and close up the gaps here and get something nice going. So we're going to want to face this direction and come out with a half triangle here, into a square, cap it with a triangle, and then we just return back with triangles like this, going out with a square, triangle, square, triangle. You can see that pretty much joins up, giving us a nice gap for our ping wall. And we can break this off the side here and add a square, and that's our gatehouse. So everything links up just like so. And from there, we can add in foundations off the main base. You can see those link together, and we can throw in a wall and a frame to join this part of the footprint to the main base. No external on this side. So we'll go ahead and build that now. Window on the front, two single doors just like so to create that airlock. And ideally, you're throwing a door on here that has a window to look through, or you can just go for the full style points as well. Next, we wrap up and over, giving ourselves space for a turret. Just like that. Turret goes in there. Quadrico on the left. And double our single door to lead out, with a ramp as well to cover that head and give us a way up to our ping wall. You can see that's on both sides of the base, looking good. I'll fill in the rest of this too, and then we can get some high walls going. So we're just half wall and full wall, wrapping around. And then on the bedroom, we can wrap up and over, doing the same thing again, giving ourselves some patricos for the bedroom. Easy peasy. Covering our head with the roof ramps, giving ourselves a frame to get up over the top, hit that ping wall. So we can drop down and through this, get your turrets along all of these spots, and then we can go ahead and throw down some high walls. So we're keeping the symmetry on for this, and you want to start off at your gatehouse side, and we're looking to just bring this out, slightly curving in back towards compound, with no gap down this left side, looking to kind of bend away from the half wall at the top here towards our external. And then you can see that places on both sides. There we go. Then we'll come over here, and we're looking to do something pretty similar. Again, just wanting this to bend as close as we can towards this high wall, whilst leaving no gap down the side here. And then we can just join it up for our 3 high wall seal, pulling it back just a touch, hopefully leaving space for a large furnace. And that large furnace can go in there. closing up the gap nicely for us, leaving space for industrial to come through there too. As for the barricade placement, it's pretty simple. We're going to throw one on top of the square here, and we're going to throw one on top of the triangle side too. And that's 4 barricades total to seal up your compound, which is pretty budget friendly for the solo duos. There we go, and we're looking pretty nice. Next, we're going to raise up the rest of this combing just because we use some of it for the next floor. So we're going to bring all of these sides up to the current height that we're working on. And that's going to go on both sides just like that. And then from there, we can turn the symmetry off and start working on the main base core section here. So to kick things off, next to our one-way, we can add a window in front, and we can pop this double door off. And from there, you can floor out and through to create a little bedroom section here, soft side facing in the way. And that's going to give you spot here for a bed and a locker too. This is just a little extra respawn, mainly for the solos. You could throw a bag in here too if you'd like, but it just gives you the option to spawn on this and drop down onto the one-way retake for this extra floor here. Of course, these retakes are stacking on each other like that. And we can fill in the combing on this side, nothing there. Nothing here. Nothing on main chute side. Nothing here either. And then directly opposite where we have our window, we do a half wall into a window like that. You can have that facing out the way. Seal it through. Single door to enter this kind of core floor. And we give ourselves a nice big loot room in the middle there. Spot for a turret. And I had some electric furnaces underneath. And everything wraps through just like that. So if you throw in a shelf, that'll make it a lot more spacious in here. And then a little turret above. Watches our jump up pretty nicely as we drop in through. Once that little main loot floor section is done, we can jump up now, and this is our shooting floor height level. And now we're on the shooting floor height level, so we can go ahead and start working on that. First of all, we're going to add half walls on the back of this jump up and turn it into a little of a peak down. Just like this, and we can use those angles a little bit later on, and that's going to be on both sides. We're full symmetrical again now. We then want to add walls on the left and right of this kind of jump up, adding a second window half height above our first window, just like that. And then we're single door airlocking out of here and capping the rest of this up. And we can bring ourselves through to the roof height level, facing in these angles. You can add a frame in here with a half wall over here and a single door in front. And then you full wall this off, and we go double into single airlock to take us out to our roof height, just like that. And we get a few retakes and a few angles, setting things up that way. And on shooting floor height level, divide it through with some frames, and there we go. Over here, we need to raise some frames up now for the shooting floor angle. And we also get a little reverse waterfall on this section too, so keep that in mind. Around the front here, we're going to raise up with 1, 2, 3 frames. On top of those 3 frames, we're going to add in windows and a frame at the top, just like so. That's going to let you place a full wall on top of this, and that'll act as a part for our shooting floor. Then on the left and right, it's a little bit different, so we're half walling, then framing, then half walling again, just like that. And then you fill in your shooting floor angles just like this, giving you your downwards looking through. You can full wall this off with a window to the side and then a frame there, and we just fill in the roof. Window over here, frame, and another wall, and that wraps through to give us our angles. And then over here we want to look to make some patricos on these windows. So add a frame here, half wall, and then bring it up, creating a nice patrico angle just like this. And we can do the same over here. There we go, so that's how the base is looking from all sides, coming together nice. On top of our patricos, we can add in full walls, keep our head safe, and then we add frames in between and half walls to match the height. So that keeps the head safe on these angles and then keeps the toes safe on these angles. There we go, and that's on both sides of the base. You can add in the floors here to seal that in, and then we can meet up to the top of our waterfall, just wrapping that in and adding a single door. And of course, you'll need a ladder hatch coming through, and you want some netting on the side with the ramp here. So it's going to make life a little bit easier. You can come in, hit the ramp, and go up towards the ladder hatch. And we just window this part off. Next to the single door, we're going to go half wall into window, just like that. And off of here, you want to do a triangle frame is what I have, coming through the sides, just like so. And then you'll be able to make a Patrico out of this angle too. Just raising the frames up, like so. And turn those into Patricos as well. Then we're half walling these off to keep the head safe. And here. Over in the middle, that's going to be a shop front. And then we can raise frames up like so for a turret pod. Turret pod coming through here. Stability gets a bit rubbish at the top there. So you can throw your shop front in for a bit of visibility there. And get all your Patricos set with the right embrasures. Then on top of our roof exits, we can create another Patrico here. Adding half walls on top. Just sealing this all the way in. Giving us a couple more angles like that. And you can also fill this part in. Half wall window like this. And we seal that in too. And we give ourselves a ramp up to here. And we do the same here. So just filling it in. Adding that window on top. Ramp to sit on. And you have your way up to these angles too. And then I just low wall the top of the roof here, just to give you a little bit of extra space to play off of, and allowing you to kind of drop down onto here if you'd like. Then you throw on a couple of windmills, and once you've done that, that completes the base design. Hopefully boys and girls have enjoyed this video. If you did, then please feel free to leave me a like and drop me a comment down below. Remember to check out the Patreon, and of course custom bases are back up and running, so feel free to hit me up for those. And I'll see you boys and girls in the next video. See you in a bit.